Hi, everyone. I have one of my very favorite books to share with you. I've been looking really forward to this. It's a sci-fi book. I don't really know what you think is sci-fi and what images you conjure up when you think of it, but it's a big, grand range of things that can be put into this bucket of sci-fi. Now, on one end, you might think things like Star Wars or Dune, things that are a little bit more sci-fantasy. That's one thing that can be in sci-fi. Sometimes these are grand epic space operas that last for 3,000 pages. Now, if you bring it kind of more over here, you get more of the Star Trek sci-fi, which isn't always so much about lasers and battles and fighting at all, but it's more about the situation that they're presented with and what they can do with it. There's really hard sci-fi. There are things like Frankenstein, you could consider that a sci-fi. Things like I Am Legend, a sci-fi. I, Robot. There are many, 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 many things. Now, my very favorite subgenre of sci-fi is the First Contact Sci-Fi. And I like it to be Earth-based and something that doesn't have a whole bunch of fantastical elements other than suddenly they see something and they have to go investigate. There are invasions that sometimes happen, but sometimes it's just curiosity. Now, if you want to know if that kind of subcategory could fit for you, I have a book for you that I would consider a classic. It's not too long. I think it's about, this one's 272 pages. It's certainly from a classic author, from Arthur C. Clarke, the same person who wrote 2001 A Space Odyssey, as well as Childhood's End. I might talk about those in the future. But this is my favorite of his. It is Rendezvous with Rama. And I think anyone can kind of go to it and find something fascinated by it. It's kind of a quiet and serene, kind of a dark, not dark and evil, but just kind of more like The Martian. Just a lot of kind of being alone and quiet and wondering what's going to happen. Now, to give kind of a premise, I won't spoil anything, to very lightly kind of mention sort of the first 50 pages, and after that I won't mention anything, but I think if you read the first 50 pages, you'll know if you're hooked or not. It's Earth in 2130, and they have a system in place to kind of protect themselves from asteroids. In the prologue, they kind of mentioned that there was a big asteroid that happened and it wiped out a whole bunch of people. It really caused devastation, and they worked towards this defense system. And one day, they noticed something way out kind of beyond Jupiter or wherever it is. I can't recall. And they noticed it's not an asteroid because of the way that the sun is reflecting off of it. It usually would kind of be rotating, and they would be able to see the different kind of bumps or whatever. And instead, they noticed that it's got a flat kind of cylindrical surface and that it's spinning. About 50 kilometers in length, about 20 in diameter. And it's just kind of spinning through the solar system. And they wonder what the heck it is. And we wonder what the heck it is. And kind of to kind of set it up for you, they send someone out. They send a crew out to go land on this spinning object in the solar system. They land just right on the nose here. And then they plan on what they're going to do to find out what's inside. Now, I hope that you read this. I've always loved sci-fi in shows. I love Star Trek. I used to love Star Wars a lot. But this is one of those books that really got its hooks in me for reading sci-fi. And I think that you should read it. If you know me in real life, hit me up, and I will definitely let you borrow this book. It's one of my very favorites. It's not heavy on the sci-fi jargon, even though there are a lot of scientific things. It's not one of those things that it's going to leave you in the dust if you can't really connect with it. The important thing to know that in this crew, there are scientifically savvy people that do understand it, and they kind of explain it in a way that's not too daunting. Really, this journey is totally worth going on anyway, whether you are a fan of sci-fi or not. If you are a fan of sci-fi, I think you're going to love it. Absolutely. And if you're not, I think you'll find it interesting. And I think there will be moments where you have to kind of close the book and that you will kind of be sucked into this world. It conjures up very strong images in your mind of maybe how you would react if you were there. It's one of my very, very favorites. I truly hope that you go out and you read it. I have other sci-fi books that I'm going to review shortly. One of them is a series that I'm very disappointed in. It's going to turn into a did not finish, but I'm still going to give my thoughts on the first book that I read of that series. And another one might turn into one of my all-time favorite series of any genre. I've been totally engrossed, but I have to get to the third book. I've only done 2, and I want to get to the third one. If you look on my shelf, you might know which one that is, if you are savvy in the sci-fi genre. Anyway, I will see you shortly. Thanks.